Hello and welcome back to the video series of visual programming with Java using NetBeans. My name is Aoudi, and in this lesson we will learn about conditions and error handling. First of all, conditions or conditional statements are also known as branching statements. They change the sequence of the way your program executes. We all know that program execute sequentially. With branching statements or conditional statements, we can change that. For example, we can check for a condition. If it's met, we can execute a certain part of our code. If not, we can execute another part. This is a little bit related in logic to error handling or exception handling. In general, if an error or an exception occurs, then we will do something about it, else we let our program execute normally. So basically in this lesson we will learn how to handle or deal with exceptions or errors. Generally speaking, an exception is an indication of a problem. When you run your program and your users are actually using it, you'd expect to have a robust application that can anticipate the errors of your user. If you remember last time, we created a program that asks the user for some inputs. That program was the simple desktop application, if you remember. So let us take a look at it just as a reminder. Let me just close this for a second and just show you how we open either file open project, or we can go to the toolbar and say open project and choose the project that you want, open it. And what I want to do right now, I want to run this project just to remind you. Now in here, last time we were good users and we always entered proper data. However, we can actually as users make errors, and our program at that point was not robust enough to deal with those errors. So if I click here show order, there's no product, there's no price, no quantity, and we see all types of errors that the user cannot understand, and they don't have proper messages that tells them that there are problems and you need to fix them. So basically what we want to do today is to create a new project and learn how we can deal with such problems. Later on we can apply what we learned in this lesson to the simple desktop application and try to make it a little bit better. So again, I will close this, I don't need it. I will go ahead and create a new project. It's a Java project. I will still use Java desktop application, and I will call it conditions and errors, and it's a basic desktop application. Finish. Alright, the project got created. I will just change here. I will clear this output area and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so right now you remember this is the main panel and I have my controls over here. So I will start just by adding very simple controls. I want a text field, and I want also a button. Okay, and in here I will change the size, and then I'll go in here and I will empty it. I will go to my button, I will double click it and just call it test. Okay, I'm all set. I'm ready to do some programming. Remember, we have the events that are attached to my control. So I will right click, I will choose the events menu, and then the action submenu, choose the action performed. Remember that from last time. This is where I write my code. So basically I want to collect the data that are entered by the user in the text field, and I need a string variable, and I will call it my input. This is equal to whatever the user is entering in the J text field 1. That's the name, the default name, if you remember, field 1, field 2. I didn't make any changes today, so I will just simply say get text. Okay, I got the text right now. What if the user did not enter any text at all? What I want to do, I want to check for that, and I will use the conditional statement that you should be familiar with, which is the if statement. So let us, as a starter, use the if statement to deal with that. So I will check for something, and if the condition is met, I do something, else I do something else. So basically this is a branching logic. If the condition is met, the condition that I will put in here, then what's inside this block will be executed. If the condition is not met, then what's inside this block will be executed. Okay, what I'm checking for is my input. If it's empty, then I will give a message, tell them that we have a problem. So let us start. Usually, if you remember, in the if statement we do something like this. The variable, let's say if x is equal, this is the conditional operator as opposed to the single equal, which is the assignment operator. If x is equal to 5, this will return for me a boolean, either true or false, and according to that I can branch. With strings I don't usually use the equal or the comparison operator. Instead I will use the method which is called equal. So I will say my input dot equals, and if it's equal to nothing, okay, so it's empty, the equals method will return a boolean for me. So the output of this will be either true or false. If it is equal to nothing, that means the user did not enter any data in there. Then what I want to do, I want to display a message. Sorry. Let us take a look at the design for a second. I will go back to the design. I have here also available for me, automatically created by NetBeans when I created this project. I have available a status panel. In this status panel I have a few nice controls. This is, for example, the progress bar, and I have a status message label, which is simply a J label or a label like the one that we have seen last time. So what I want to do, I want to use this label and write something in it. So in the status bar I will see that I have a message if there is a problem or an error. It can be done in many different ways. This is one of them.